Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. One more financial institution has failed. I'll just let you know in case you haven't been keeping track. Now there are 3 financial institutions to count. Recently, Signature Bank, another major bank, has shown its support for the cryptocurrency industry by opening a branch. Our timing is almost identical. You've been talking a lot about the recent collapse of Silvergate Bank, and today, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse confirmed that the company does, in fact, have exposure to the bank. I'm going to assume that you all are up to date on that. This is, indeed, very breaking news. Time passed only a little bit earlier than an hour ago. To be honest, I didn't intend to release another video today, but seeing as how time is of the essence, I'll do my best to move quickly through this one so that I can get it up as soon as possible. I figured that if I could, I should try to cover this major piece of breaking news as it was happening. So I'm going to take a break and make sure I can handle it. To be clear, I have zero experience in the financial sector before we go any further. You shouldn't buy or sell anything based on what I say or write because I am not giving financial advice. I'm just a fan who occasionally posts silly videos to YouTube about crypto-related topics. Having said that, allow me to share a headline from CNBC. New York's flagship bank was shut down due to systemic risk, according to regulators. Sunday, in an effort to contain the financial crisis, U.S. authorities closed down a New York-based Signature Bank. Signature Bank New York will also be granted a systemic risk exemption, as will be announced. In a joint statement released late on Sunday, the state chartering authority, the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, and the FDIC announced that New York would be closed today. Therefore, I will pause to mention that this has been my suspicion all along, despite never really knowing how things would turn out. Perhaps the government would have been like, hey, but that's just speculation. Well, it seems like this might be a systemic risk, but we're not going to, not only bail out a bank, but we're not even going to make sure that depositors are whole. That has never seemed like the most likely thing to me that could be done technically. However, based on the evidence I've presented, I've always considered it more likely that some sort of action would have been taken. It was a given that the news would break tonight, but it's also not all that surprising, given that, as I mentioned in my most recent video, by Monday, everything had better be figured out or markets would be in for a rough ride. Since you bring up the Silicon Valley Bank's decline, I assume you mean this. I mean, it's just the sheer number of people it would affect. A major dip in the economy could affect as many as 100,000 people if they do not receive their usual pay. Some people have speculated that this could encourage businesses to move their accounts from smaller regional banks to larger ones like JP Morgan. On my daily vlog, I explained the idea. Nonetheless, there have been numerous worries about this. The Federal Reserve appears ready to intervene and protect depositors. Okay, let me keep reading this article for the time being. Depositors at Signature Bank will have full access to their funds, according to the banking regulator. Measures of a similar nature were taken to guarantee the return of depositors' funds at the defunct Silicon Valley Bank. All depositors will be fully refunded. In the same vein as the resolution of Silicon Valley Bank, the taxpayer will not be responsible for any losses, according to the regulator. As the largest U.S. banking failure since the 2008 financial crisis and the second largest ever, regulators shut down Silicon Valley Bank on Friday and seized its deposits. This sudden action comes after the tech-focused financial institution reported it was having financial difficulties, sparking a run on the bank's deposits, which was reported a few days prior. Signature is a leading financial institution servicing the cryptocurrency sector. According to FactSet, its market cap was $4.4 billion as of Friday. Since its cryptocurrency banking competitor Silvergate Capital went bankrupt earlier this year, the stock price has dropped by nearly 40%. It's crazy to think that just 2 days ago, its market value was $4.4 billion and now it's worthless. Things moved quickly, just 2 days later. Things moved at a breakneck pace, that's for sure. And by the way, this news just came out at 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:15 p.m. Central. According to the filing, as of December 31, Signature had $110.4 billion in assets and $88.6 billion in deposits. so that further harm can be avoided and an even bigger crisis can be avoided. Using the Federal Reserve's Emergency Lending Authority, the Fed and the Treasury established a special program to protect customers of Signature Bank and Silicon Valley Bank. A senior Treasury official has stated that while depositors will have access to their funds, equity and bond holders at both banks will be wiped out. Thus, it is a wild time to be alive. Ripple has exposure to at least one of the three banks that have failed in the past week. Financial institution of Silicon Valley. Finally, at 4:14 p.m. CST, I'd like to introduce you to Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. This was published almost to the minute before the Fed, that mysterious Signature Bank, announced news. Not many people were thinking about that. To be honest, though, it isn't all that surprising, given that they are rather tech-specific and, big on the crypto industry, and that niche was having trouble in general. This should come as no great shock. There was another well-known bank, and it was this one. If memory serves, after Silvergate I think it was Silver, even Coinbase withdrew its banking support, which makes you wonder where the cryptocurrency industry is going to turn for backing. Coinbase may have said something like, "Hey, we're still working with Signature Bank, so I don't know, we'll see," after Silvergate collapsed, if my memory serves. It's true that crypto businesses' available options are narrowing, but what can you do? Ripple's exposure to Silicon Valley Bank, the second failed bank, was updated by Brad Garlinghouse about an hour before the news broke. Here then is what Brad Garlinghouse had to say to put the rumors about the banks in Silicon Valley to rest. A portion of Ripple's capital was risked by Silicon Valley Bank. They were a financial partner of ours and held some of our cash. The majority of our US dollars are held with a wider network of bank partners, so we anticipate no disruption to our day-to-day operations. Naturally, there is still a great deal of mystery surrounding Silicon Valley Bank. And like many others, we anticipate receiving additional information in the near future. However, you can rest assured that Ripple's financial standing is stable. Some businesses are struggling to make payroll, and it's ironic that this is happening. Evidence of the continued dysfunction of our financial systems, the fact that wires are not accessible 24/7/365. Confusion and difficulties in transferring funds within a highly decentralized system are the direct results of rumor spreading. There you have it. Therefore, that is generally good news. No matter how much risk they took, depositors can rest easy knowing that it has been eliminated. Even though this could have been catastrophic if all of Ripple's money had been in that account, I never thought it was likely that it would be. However, if that were the case, and the funds weren't going to be, if depositors weren't going to be made whole, that would have been a catastrophic area. Although I certainly didn't anticipate this, I suppose it's possible under extreme circumstances. But now you know that is not the case, and you can rest easy. It seems like things are going to work out fine for Ripple. The stock market is ecstatic at the news. In this page, you can view real-time data regarding the value of coins. You now know how much one Bitcoin costs. As you can see, the weather started to turn this afternoon. However, if you look at the clock, you'll notice that it's 5:15 p.m. CST, which is just a hair earlier than the time the news first broke. Furthermore, a quotation served the same purpose. For the time being, the appearance is the same. It was announced as soon as the year 515 arrived. It was immediately apparent. That's a given, it's excellent. I got a huge break in a good direction. Now you have more than $22,000 in Bitcoin. You have more than 0.37 XRP. A 24-hour low of XRP for 30 of 35 cents isn't bad at all. So, this is a positive development. This is the kind of news we've been anticipating. If you were hoping cryptocurrency prices would drop, you'll have to look elsewhere. So sad. It will be interesting to see how the stock market reacts tomorrow, but so far no markets are celebrating. Still, I can't say for sure. The stock market will have a panic attack. Investors in the crypto market are happy, so it stands to reason that the equity market would be as well, since this is a successful attempt to contain a systemic risk that could have otherwise spread. Thus far, that is all we have learned. At this point, I think it's best to end. Here's something I need to get off my chest quickly. But there will be a lot to take in tomorrow and throughout the week, and the reaction of the markets to this information will be interesting to observe. Still, things are looking promising. For the rest of the night, I plan on monitoring the markets purely out of curiosity. However, it appears to be going quite well so far, although it has only been a little over an hour since the news broke. No, I don't give out financial advice. Nothing I write or say should be used as the basis for a purchase or sale. In the end, please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.